Welcome to this Step 3 review on what happens after the exam. This video is brought to you by Roadmap to Residency. Passing the exam is a huge milestone, but the days and weeks that follow raise their own questions. When will my score arrive? What are programs actually looking for? What do I do if I do not pass? And what are my next steps once I do? Today, we will answer all of that, and we will practice reading the process the same disciplined way you learn to read a clinical vignette. Keep your official testing materials and a trusted advisor close, because the specifics of your own situation always come first. Let us get started. Here is what we are going to cover today. First, we will walk through the score reporting timeline so you know when to expect your result and why it sometimes takes longer. Second, we will talk honestly about what residency programs actually look for in this score, which is often simpler than applicants fear. Third, we will build a clear plan for what to do if you do not pass, and for the steps that come after you do. Along the way, we will practice a few question-style scenarios about the post-exam process and reason through every choice, because the same strategy skills that helped you on the exam also help you make calm, evidence-based decisions afterward. Let us start with the score timeline. The most important thing to know is the typical window. Scores are usually released a few weeks after you test, and results tend to post on a regular weekly schedule rather than on any single guaranteed day. So plan for a wait of several weeks, and check the official scoring calendar from the testing organization for the current target window, since the exact timing shifts from year to year. The second thing to watch for is a reporting pause. Near the end of each calendar year, score reporting can stop for a scheduled maintenance period, which delays results for anyone who tested just before it. If you are testing late in the year, look up that annual reporting hold ahead of time so a normal delay does not send you into a panic. Now, what do programs actually look for? For most programs and most applicants, the central question is simply whether you passed. This exam is reported as pass or fail along with a numeric score, and a solid pass keeps your application moving. Program directors rarely rank applicants on this particular score the way they might weigh earlier exam results, so in most cases a clear pass is all that is needed. Where the score carries a little more weight is when an earlier result was borderline, when a specific program uses it as one more data point, or when you are already in training and a strong score supports your standing. The safest move is always to read each program requirement in its own words rather than assume, because expectations really do vary. Let us talk about the hard scenario, which is if you do not pass. First, give yourself a moment. A failing result is a setback, not the end of your path, and many strong physicians have passed on a later attempt. Take a breath, then move into a structured plan rather than a spiral of worry. Second, diagnose the real gap. Study your official performance report to see whether the shortfall was content knowledge, timing, and pacing, or the computer-based patient case simulations. Fixing the right weakness matters far more than simply studying longer. Third, rebuild and retake. Confirm how soon you may test again and how many attempts your programs accept. Then build a focused study block around your weak areas. A guided plan and a coach can shorten that road, so reach out for support rather than repeating the same preparation that fell short. Let us work through a practice scenario about the timeline. A resident tests on the first Wednesday of December and starts to worry, because a friend who tested in the spring got results in about 3 weeks, yet a full month has now passed with no score. The resident has heard nothing about any error and did nothing unusual on test day. The question asks for the most appropriate next step. Notice the testing date and think about the calendar before you choose. Read the 4 options carefully, pick your answer, and we will reason through it together on the next slide. Let us break this down step by step. First, spot the pattern. The key detail is the testing date in early December. Late in the year, there is a scheduled reporting pause, so a longer than usual wait here is expected rather than a warning sign, and the clean test day tells you nothing actually went wrong. Second, apply the rule. When a STEM hands you a specific date and a delay, check the official calendar before you act. So the answer is to look up the end-of-year reporting hold, which explains the wait calmly. Third, eliminate the wrong answers. Assuming failure jumps to a conclusion with no evidence. Alarming every program creates a problem where none exists. Paying for a second attempt spends money before you even have a result. Each of those overreacts to a normal delay. The correct answer is to check the scoring calendar first. Here is our second practice scenario, and it is about reading a program requirement. A physician passes the exam with a comfortable margin and is preparing residency applications. One target program lists a numeric score requirement on its own website, and this physician clearly exceeds it. Even so, the physician feels anxious and wonders whether an even higher score is now needed to be competitive. The question asks for the most appropriate next step. Focus on the one concrete fact the scenario gives you, and be careful not to let the anxiety pull you toward doing too much. Choose your answer, and we will reason through every option next. Let us work through this answer. First, read the requirement given. The scenario hands you the one fact that matters, which is that the physician already exceeds the stated requirement for the target program. The anxiety described in the scenario is a distractor, and when the vignette gives you the actual rule, you answer to that rule rather than to the worry around it. Second, trust the passing score. Retaking a passing exam is the overkill trap, because most programs do not reward a repeat, and a passing score is rarely something you can even improve on your record. Comparing yourself to a friend or withdrawing from the program early both act on feelings instead of facts. The correct answer is to trust the passing result and pour your energy into the rest of the application. Let us talk about next steps after you pass. First, handle the paperwork early. Passing this exam is a major requirement for full medical licensure, so send your result to your state licensing board and confirm what else they need from you. Keep a simple checklist of documents and deadlines because licensure paperwork moves slowly and a single missing item can stall everything for weeks. Second, turn the win into momentum. With the exam behind you, redirect that energy toward your next milestone, whether that is your application, your current training, or a fellowship down the road. Update your record. Tell your program coordinator, and lean on a mentor or advisor to map the timeline so the momentum from this win carries straight into the next step. Here is our third practice scenario, and it is about planning a retake. A physician does not pass and reviews the official performance report. The report shows solid content knowledge, but a clear weakness in the computer-based patient case simulations, where time ran out on several cases. The physician is eligible to test again after a short waiting period. The question asks for the most appropriate next step. The important clue is that the report tells you exactly where the points were lost. Think about matching the plan to that specific gap, and choose your answer before we walk through it. Let us break down this answer. First, diagnose the gap. The report points to one specific weakness, which is the case simulations and the pacing inside them, while content knowledge was solid. So the strongest next step is to practice that software directly and rehearse its timing, because that is precisely where the points were lost. Now, the key distinction between the wrong choices. Simply adding more hours to the same plan ignores the diagnosed problem. Rushing to the earliest date with no new strategy just repeats the same mistake. Abandoning the exam throws away the real content strength this physician already has. Every distractor either ignores the data or overreacts to it. The correct answer is to drill the case simulations and their pacing. Here is a lasting pearl that ties all of this together, and it works for the exam and for the whole post-exam process. First, read the rule, not the fear. Whether a scenario is about a patient or about your own score, hunt for the concrete rule it hands you, such as an official date, a stated requirement, or a specific performance gap. That fact is what the question is really testing, and the emotion in the scenario is almost always there to pull you off course. Second, answer to the facts. Once you have the rule, answer straight to it and let the worry fall away. Beware the overkill choice that does far more than the situation needs, and beware the panic choice that acts before you have the facts. Verify with the official source, then choose the calm, proportionate next step. That wraps up our review of the post-exam process. Remember the core ideas, know the score reporting timeline, and check the official calendar, especially for the end-of-year reporting pause. Understand that for most programs, a clear pass is what matters, and read each requirement in its own words. If you do not pass, diagnose the real gap from your performance report and rebuild your plan around it. And once you pass, handle your licensure paperwork early and carry the momentum into your next milestone. For the current scoring calendar, retake rules, and licensure requirements, always check the official testing organization website and your own state licensing board, because these details change over time. Visit roadmaptoresidency.com for expert tutors and residency advisors who can help you plan a retake or map the steps after passing. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe so you do not miss our next board review session. Good luck with your result, and we will see you in the next video.